Welcome back. You're now watching the lifestyle segment of the weekend show. Our topic of discussion today is self-care. Self-care is something we often overlook. It is an activity we deliberately do in order to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. It's about being as kind to yourself as you would be to others. Joining us today to discuss this topic, we have
with us in the studio Chinyereugo Udensi, who is a clinical psychologist with NAME Foundation. Welcome to the weekend show.
Thank you for having me.
We also have with us New Era Christopher. She is a skin therapist. Welcome to the weekend show.
Thank you very much.
And right beside me we have Anuli, Aniebo, Ola-Olaniyi. Welcome to the weekend show.
Thank you so much.
Anuli, let me start with you. In Nigeria, we have this perspective that self-care means that you're self-absorbed, you're selfish. How do we break away from that notion and encourage people to take better care of themselves?
Okay, thank you for that question. First of all, I would just like to debunk the idea that self-care is only for the rich and wealthy, because we can see that anybody anywhere can look after themselves. Anybody anywhere can be creative in the way they look after themselves. I mean, you've seen the videos that the Okorodu boys do. So you can be anywhere in the world and look after yourself. It's not only for the rich and wealthy. And I think that we need to approach self-care from two perspectives, being proactive or being reactive to it. So self-care is not just about you only self-loving yourself, even if it's part of it. Self-care is you understanding that you matter. There are things about you that matter. You need yourself to matter, to be healthy, to remain where you are, and to continue to do things that you want to enjoy doing. So self-absorption, yes, probably to an extent, but I don't think it's the total thing that self-care is about.
You know, last week we were discussing in the studio about this topic, and I was like, every once in a while it's important for you to chop life. And it might be as little as going to the nearest butcher to get that amala and 3 big goat meat and just eat and do stuff for yourself. Like, when last did you do something for yourself? And I was happy seeing both of you talking about your shoes just before. It's important that sometimes you do stuff for yourself. But Chinyere, I know this month is Mental Awareness Month. I think it's October 10. And yes, you guys at NAME Foundation, you've been doing a lot on mental health care. How does self-care come into the picture, especially with being a clinical psychologist and a lot of people going through mental health issues in the country? We heard about 1 out of 4 Nigerians last year. So do you want to talk about that?
Self-care is very important. It sometimes helps you balance life and deal with life. And sometimes when people go through mental health challenges, there's a lack of self-care at some point in their lives. Just to add on to what she said earlier, self-care literally is about taking care of yourself and putting yourself in a better position to take care of yourself and for other people. So it's not, I think that there's a thin line between saying self-care and being selfish, because a lot of the times people do things to spite other people. But self-care is not really about that. It's about making sure that it's coming from a place of strength where you want to make sure that you're in a good position to help the other person, because it's almost like, how can you water a garden when you don't have water in you to water the garden? So for most people, you begin to find that when they begin to develop mental health challenges, there's an element of not taking care of themselves. Be it going to take amala, be it hanging out with friends, be it talking about the smallest of things, anything, you begin to see that there's an element that's not there that we lack. And so we see that sometimes when people don't take care of themselves, they deal with a lot of mental health challenges. You look at depression, anxiety, you know, stress is all around us. And it's those small things we do to take care of ourselves that help us and put us in a better platform. The month of October is Mental Health Month, and there's a lot we do. And, you know, self-care is one of those things that we like to talk about because we know it's very important. We don't have to wait till you're falling apart for you to act. You have to be more proactive, like you mentioned, and start to do things, the small things, everyday things that you do that put you in a better mental health.
I think you mentioned something very integral. You don't have to wait till you fall apart to take care of yourself.
Correct.
Make sure you're doing it every single day. It's a journey. You know, I hear a lot of people say, oh my gosh, I'm depressed. You know, I go through my social media, I see people are posting flashy things, and I feel this pressure as a young woman. I feel this pressure as a man to live up to these standards that my peers are living up to on social media. And unbeknownst to them, most of it is fake. It's all for the gram.
Just a moment.
Exactly.
It makes you happy at that time.
Yes. But what I'm saying is that self-care comes in here. If you feel yourself feeling undue pressure, log out of the app.
Exactly.
You know, take care of your mental well-being.
Yeah.
So New Era, you are the what I believe is definition of self-care. Your field, you're a skin therapist, you take good care of your skin, you take good care of the skin of your clients. Can you talk to me more about that? What can people who are watching say, okay, you know what, I'm finally going to take good care of myself. I'm going to invest in self-care. What advice would you give them?
You know, our body, talking about self-care now, it boils down to your body, it boils down to your mental being and everything that has to do with you as human. Our body is the largest organ of our body. Our skin, rather, is the largest organ of our body, and it contains all our bodily fluid. So if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't give yourself the proper care that your skin desires, your skin is going to get dehydrated, your skin is going to wear out, is going to fed up. So if you, as human being, who has been working on a daily basis, you get yourself exposed to sun, dust, you don't take out time. I'm coming as a skin therapist. Exactly. You don't take out time to pamper yourself, visit a spa once in a while. Even if you can't afford the spa, you can just like you said earlier, you can log off from social media, turn off television, just calm yourself, off everywhere, just lock yourself in a room, take time to relax. This does a lot of wonders to our skin. Another thing that I do personally, I try as much as possible to take water a lot, and I also take fruit-based, water-based fruits. This helps to hydrate your body, because as we grow old, the natural lubricant that our bodies produce tend to diminish. So when you take this water-based fruits on a daily basis, it helps to produce this lubricant that helps you glow on a daily basis and keeps you healthy. That is why you see that when an adult is placed here and a child, a baby is placed here, you see that the skin is different. There is no doubt that both skins are different. But when you're practicing this self-care and you love yourself, you're practicing this self-care on a daily basis, you'll find out that you'll be glowing and your body will be so tender like that of a baby. So basic thing I do is once in a while, what I do is I just take maybe once in a month, depending on your pocket, if your pocket is very fat or slim, once in a month or 2 times in a month, just visit the spa, ask for sauna bath, go there, they will bathe you properly, take off all the dirt.
Is it the same thing as hammam?
Yes, it's the same thing. Okay. So scrub off all the dead cells that comes on your body. After this, then request for a spa. This, they are going to on maybe this fragrance candle, sprinkle flowers all around you, and you're going to calm, and this is going to help you. Sometimes some flight comes around and they slip off. You just have to allow them to sleep for the main time. You know, some Nigerians
are listening to you now saying in this country, you know, when they have to worry about so many challenges, yes, we understand the challenges that we face. No power, no electricity, no good roads, no good healthcare, XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. But let me bring you here in, Anuli. I hold this monthly roundtable with young women. We theme it the 21st Century Woman, also a plug for my symposium coming up. 21st Century Woman, October 23rd, sign up. And basically we talk about ways that we could take better care of ourselves to ensure that we're growing in our career and we're also growing in our personal lives. And the question, the resounding and recurrent question that's always asked to me is that, how are you so confident? What do you do, or how did you become the way you are, that you are so confident and so outspoken that nothing ever shakes you? And it makes me think, because it's just the way I am. Like, I wake up and I'm just the way I am. But I thought about it really, and I said, what really makes me so confident? And how can we encourage our young women to also be as confident as this? What do we need to do in terms of self-care to ensure that we have this mental strength that would also encourage other young women who are looking up to us to be able to obviously know the importance of self-care, number one, and number two, then exert that energy onto the world? Yeah, how do we do that?
Well, let me just use myself as an example, if that's okay. I think I've learned over time to just be my authentic self. You know, when I was born, I don't think I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't even know how to spell authentic to start with. But growing up and just trying to realize all these many facets of my life. First of all, trying to understand what the culture is putting on my burden, the culture has on me and the tradition. And like you said, Anuli, who are you really? And what do you want to become? And then I just try to put a plot there. So I tell young women, you need to just be your authentic self. Who are you originally? If you didn't have all these things pulling and demanding at you, who are you? And for me, there's always a gap for who Anuli is today and who Anuli wants to be tomorrow or in 2 years, you know? And I begin to try and plug the gap on the little things that I can do. So self-confidence is really great, I think, in the way it builds over time. I'm confident today, but I think I'll be more confident next week or something. Because there are things that are now plot in between my journey. Number one, reading. I read a lot. I try to read. And then things that affect me, if, for example, somebody has hurt me and my heart is really bleeding, I actually first ask Google, my heart is bleeding, what can I do to stop this heart from bleeding? Do you know what I mean? And then I begin to read stories of other people that might have gone through. Then I speak to, you know, close friends, you know, like you, like, look at this. And people begin to give me their own version of what they've been through. But I go back into myself because I'm Anuli. The way it worked for Osasu may not work for me. And I apply apply those principles to how it will work for Anuli. So for me, the only thing just be your authentic self. Who are you? And begin to add sips of confidence into that. And going on to self-care, like she was saying, I look forward to my days of no makeup, no lashes, no lipstick, no 3-layer foundation, no shiny teens. Honestly, I look forward to those days. So the days that we all look, all glammed up, that's all good. But the days I'm not glamming up, I'm very happy to just have my hair, you know, let my hair down and just have a scarf on. But I've been able to build confidence over time to appreciate the way my skin looks, because the ladies I see on the magazines, they're all pretty, but they're all also airbrushed. So behind the scenes, we all kind of look alike. We have one acne here, and one pimple here, one whitehead here. So again, it still goes back to being my authentic self. So I can have meetings that are not on camera with just my bare face, and everything helps to also make my skin glow. And I stay away from products that don't, because I'm light skinned, so I don't do products that will really tarnish my skin. So when you look at what we have on the media, we think that the people out there are more authentic than we are because they look this good. But they're not, because they've had a behind the scenes journey that they've developed from. So I would really encourage young women to find out who you are, be your authentic self, and then plug the gaps into where you really want to be, because none of us have arrived. No, I haven't.
I think it's brilliant what you do. I've heard good things. I also know you work with children and schools, and so that's extremely important. Some of us didn't get that opportunity to know and care about mental health at primary level. We didn't have life coaches. Guidance counselors in secondary school was to tell you, you're going to science or you're going to arts, and that's about it, and that's your life. But Chinyere, I understand, and I saw this on social media, the NIM Foundation, and I think Y for Y, you people are working on something. And the reason why I say this is that I like what Anuli said about her days off. For me, I believe in rest, and that plays a major role in mental health. So for instance, we get our annual leave at work, which is one of the reasons why you have this where you should have a couple of days to just chill, relax, and rest. However, we see that our time to do our other business or increase the hustle. And so there's this constant need to look busy, to show, oh, I'm attending this meeting, I have this work which I'm meant to be doing. And there's almost no place for rest. And so I found out that you were doing something with young people. Do you want to tell us about that? And the place of rest in all of this also.
Yeah. So we partner, NIM Foundation is partnering with Y4Y, Youth for Youth Nigeria, and they're a youth-based organization run by lots of youth. And the reason why we have this partnership is because we know that lots of mental health challenges start from the adolescent age up to the adulthood. And a lot of people that you see that present with mental health challenges in adulthood, some generally do stem from adolescence and it's not taken care of, and then it makes the way for who the adult is. So we feel the need to begin to reach out to young people because they need to start understanding their mental health, understanding signs, understanding the need for rest, understanding the need for self-care, and things like that. So even now we have a mental health campaign that we're running that's just focused on amplifying, you know, mental health in Nigeria, talking about it, getting personal experiences to tell people that, you know what, you and I, we can go through the same thing, and making people aware of the fact that there are places that you can go to speak to psychologists. A lot of people don't know that there are places that you can go to speak to psychologists. So we want people to know that you can come to us if you want to speak with a psychologist. There are also other avenues, because we're trying to also have a collaboration with other mental health clinics in Abuja, other mental health advocates in Abuja. If I don't work for you, somebody else can work for you. And so we're trying to also focus on the theme of suicide prevention, because a lot of young people now are looking at it as a way out. And the whole idea of coming together with the young people is to say, we the young people, we want to come together and say, there's help out there, we can help you, come and talk to us, you know, look for us, or we come to you if you want to, if you need that help. There's a lot of pressure on everybody, you know, internal pressure, external pressure. We are all dealing with pressure, and we're living in a society, we're living in a country also that has some, you know, it makes things a bit not very easy for everybody. You have to go the extra mile for certain things, and it can be quite some form of pressure, and you know, it takes a damper on everybody. And so there's also need for us to realize that part of self-care is not always adding and adding and adding and adding. Part of self-care is removing. Part of self-care is saying, you know what, I'm not going to go to that party because I need to sleep. It could be, I'm not going to wear makeup today because my face needs to breathe. It could be, I'm not going to have that second bottle of Coca-Cola. It could be taking things away. It could also be losing friends because they're not helpful for your life, and they're not helpful for the way your journey is, and for your mental health even. And sometimes we begin to see that our friends will guilt trip us because we are putting them out because we want to take care of ourselves, and they'll say, oh no, you're being selfish.
They now call that gaslighting. Someone says, oh, you've been gaslighting, this. And I'm like, do you know what's going on in my own life that you want me to take that?
Yeah, I guess I'm the CEO of gaslighting.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Chinyere, I'm actually very proud of the work that you're doing, because I personally like to say that I'm very protective of my energy. So I am very selective of those people around me and the things I expose myself to. I was saying earlier when I was asking Anuli the question of how we encourage younger women, and you know, after thinking about it, I said to them that I believe that my confidence comes from the shalom peace I have, that I am walking in my purpose. So I believe that if more young people can identify what it is their purpose is in life, that burden of distraction would be eliminated from them, and they're better able to take care of themselves. Because right now, I can decide I'm taking a day off for 2 days, of which I should do more often. I'm guilty. You know, which I should do more often. But, you know, I can decide I'm doing that because I know where I'm going. It's not a marathon.
Exactly.
You know, it's not a sprint, I mean. So, You've made a very, very salient point, and we would like to speak to all the young people out there today that are watching. Please reach out to our organization. We'll have more details on our social media handle. That's @WeekendShowNG on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Send us a message and we'll link you up with the right resources to help you take better care of yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally, and what have you. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us on today's program. We'll take a short break right now. When we return, more on The Weekend Show. Don't go anywhere.